Okay, in this video, I'll show you how to prepare a loom that has holes in it. So, what we're aiming for is to end up with a loom that looks like this, which has a wrapped edge where there's a piece of thread wrapped around and fed through each hole in the loom. Doesn't matter what size your loom is, it'll always be done the same way. For an example, I'm going to use this one, this loom. This loom is a bit problematic because it has 65 holes, which is not a great number. It can't be divided easily into many different groupings, and so it makes it harder to design a pattern for 65 holes or 65 pins. However, it's not going to stop us from showing you how to wrap the edge of a loom. So what you'll need is your loom and some low-tack tape if possible. It's not critical, but it's nice. Some thread that's strong, reasonably strong, but not particularly valuable. A pair of thread snips and probably a tapestry needle of some size that will fit through the hole comfortably and that will fit your thread. So I like to go down into the hole. It just makes it easier, and it doesn't actually matter whether you're on the right side or the wrong side of your loom for starting this. And your loom may be solid, by the way. It may be not an empty ring, but a solid circle. It's all the same. It doesn't matter how you do it. So take a small piece of your low-tack tape and just tape that down there so it doesn't come loose while you're working. So I've gone down through the first hole. I'm going to come around the edge and I'm going to go down through the second hole. No knotting or anything involved, just down through the third hole. You want to pull this firmly when you do it. So what I usually do when I've pulled it is I put my thumb on it so it doesn't come loose. Sorry. Down through the next hole. And so on, all the way around. Now, normally you'll need between 1 meter and 1.5 meters of thread, possibly 2 if you have a large loom, to complete this task. Compared to some of the other tasks that you'll do, this one uses relatively a small amount of thread compared to some that you'll be managing. So it's kind of, take it as a little holiday from dealing with very long threads. So that's what I've done so far. I'll continue with that, and when I get around to the end, I'll show you what to do at the end. It occurred to me that you may occasionally, as I just did, miscalculate how much thread you need to go around the loom in the wrapping process, and you may end up with too short a thread to finish the job. In which case, take another piece of thread, ideally long enough for the job, and tie it on. You can do I think it's called a surgeon's knot, where you do, sorry, let me show you. You go over, right over left, and under, and under again, and then you go left over right and under. 1 second, now we'll get it. And pull it tight. And then you can continue warping, or rather I should say wrapping the thread. Okay, I finished wrapping the edge of my loom, and now I'm going to just tie the beginning to the end. I'm going to peel off the little bit of tape that was holding, and I just have to do a few more of these that were underneath the tape. Oops. Right. Okay. I'm going to tie this same way, so right over, left, and under again. Up, and then left over, right. And do it up. Now, when you snip these ends off, don't snip them off too close, because I've had them come undone on me, which is awkward, to say the least. And you might want to put a drop of glue on them. And ideally, you'll want to tie it off so that this knot ends up on not the working side of your loom, but the back side, whatever you have designated to be the back side. And you can do the same thing with the threads. These are the threads left over from when I ran out of thread, and you can do the same thing. You can snip them off and put a drop of glue on to hold them if you have had that problem. Okay, the next 2 videos will deal with warping the loom. 1, warping a loom that has a wrapping on it with holes, and 2, well, that would also include then warping a loom that has prongs. I'm not sure quite what to call them, but where the pins, if you will, are integral to the loom. And also I'll show you how to warp a loom that is pins on a surface.